And so the IEP will drive what specific supports those students need. However, the department is all encompassing all of these supports, ensuring that we're meeting the mental health needs of those students as well.
Thank you, Council. I just want to emphasize how proud I am to be working with Birmingham City Schools. I left my previous district many years ago because of how progressive and forward-thinking Birmingham City Schools is compared, and I know of a lot of other school districts in the state with some of my other works I do with the Alabama Association of School Psychologists. So the support that we're getting from this council and the efforts led by Dr. Sullivan, Ms. Nelson, and Ms. Wimbish as well is leading. Birmingham City Schools is setting the tone for mental health supports for our students in this state, this city school system. So I'm excited to be a part of that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hold on, Dr. Sullivan, do you have anything else?
Well, I was just going to say that this allocation will help us to expand those programs. You know, we're all limited to around resources, and so we know that the need is great. It has been exacerbated by the pandemic, and again, I thank the council for the consideration of this allocation.
Okay, all right, thank you. Councilor Smith, did you have?
Thank you, President Parker. Number one, I want to say congratulations, Dr. Sullivan. About 2 years ago, I met with our previous superintendent with Martez Files and my staff, and there was a great need for social workers. I know you guys know about that. And council colleagues, we struggled to get 3 social workers in our school system. I mean, I remember they were like begging them to come and we couldn't get them. So I'm really proud of a program like this. Are we still struggling to get those social workers?
So social workers called on Mrs. Nelson. Ms. Nelson, you want to talk a little bit about the work that the social workers do?
So right now, currently, we have 4 prevention specialists working in Birmingham City Schools and 1 district-wide social worker. And those prevention specialists have social work or behavioral intervention backgrounds. I wouldn't say that we have several that are interested in moving to Birmingham City because of the progressive nature of what we're doing within the schools to support mental health. And certainly, it's not hard to to find the support staff anymore because they know it's here and that they're out there. Typically, the only struggle is that the clinical setting does pay more than the educational setting, so that has been an issue, but we have not had an experience with finding the right people.
Okay, well, this was 2 years ago, so This was something completely different. How often are the social workers and the psychologists rotating the schools? Because I know currently it's not like how it was. I remember I was in school, we had a permanent counselor, 1 or 2 now. So how often are they going to the schools in our district?
Certainly. So every school has a school-based counselor, but our prevention specialist and social worker, school psychologist, visit schools about every 2 weeks. It's a part of their regular scheduled rotation. That is the only exception to that would be when we have a school crisis event. Today we have a team at Huffman High School for a crisis, so that would impact their daily schedule, but their rotation is about every 2 weeks. They are at their schools checking in on their students, and sometimes more often it's case by case. And one of the members mentioned that you meet people where they are, and that's exactly what we have to do with our students. So if it's requiring twice a week, then that's exactly what they would do. Okay, but a minimum of 2 weeks.
So we have counselors every day now at each school?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's something I do want the public to know. We did not have that at one point. They would come only twice a week with the schools. And if you know about your childhood, you need a counselor every day because you never know what's going to happen as well. I work with Girls Inc., so I would go in and teach about sexual abuse and how to control your anger and things. So I personally saw in our school system how many kids would come with their jackets smelling like marijuana, how many of them would be deemed a bad child, but really they just had problems at home. I remember one session we asked the kids, when was the last time you heard I love you? These were 4th graders, and it was only half the room. They just started boo-hoo crying. And as an adult, that's hard to really hold back the tears to know 4-year-olds are really dealing with this like they're children. They shouldn't have to have their innocence taken away from them. So another question about ADHD students and with their disabilities. What are you doing differently to accommodate them? Because I do know that the school system, and it's not Dr. Sullivan, hasn't done the best job in accommodating these students, because what is happening with these students, which just happened with most black boys, they are deemed as bad and they're being punished and isolated and bullied by their students. So I want to know, what are you doing differently to make sure these type of students are being accommodated, to make sure they are very successful?
First, I want to say you're absolutely right. Many of our students who come to school, they may present certain behaviors, but those behaviors are simply a veneer. They're something that they use to protect themselves, but they are paper thin. These children are vulnerable. They come from environments that many adults probably could not manage every day in, but these children are able to manage, come to school every day and learn, and so we are trying to provide some of those additional supports. I would add that as it relates to ADHD, is that the question that you asked?
Well, I was just using an example of one, just ADHD.
Okay, well, we have our special education coordinator, director here. She'll provide that information.
And I was going to add to, I'll add to what Dr. Sullivan has mentioned. A lot of what we are experiencing is just hoping that we can build capacity with our educators around understanding about our children.
Yeah.
It's very
Pull the
important
mic
that
up. Your voice is just too...
I'm having a short person moment, so let me. It's very important that the educators understand what presents to them every day. So they have to have the capacity of learning as well around what our children are experiencing and how to respond to those experiences. And I think that's a critical piece that you mentioned about what you've seen. What we experienced in our department in providing those wraparound services is that we can't get to the education piece until we deal with the whole child. So it's really important that we have our teachers understanding why Johnny is showing up the way he is today. That's the only way they can then tap into the learning of the student.
Okay. Yes.
So training is very important.
Thank you so much, because that's so important. I really just hope you guys just stay on that piece and just popping up on these teachers, because it's not fair for our black kids, especially our black boys. This is the time, elementary school, where they'll have the confidence to be a doctor, a lawyer, a construction worker, or if they're going down the school to prison pipeline. So I want to say thank you. And then the last one, I want to ask probably Dr. Sullivan. I know down at the state, they gave us, I know, $1, $2, or $3 million for the bullying program. Has this been incorporated in this program as well?
Actually, it has. The bullying program, thanks to Senator Smitherman, provides some additional supports, and actually that actually comes with your department as well. Come on.
Yes, and so what we are doing is we have an anti-bullying task force, and technically it is with counseling. We collaborate, and we have awareness campaigns. We do theme weeks with the schools, and we spread awareness that way, but also part of our social emotional curriculum that students are participating in for 10 to 15 minutes every day to start off their day. It does address bullying behaviors, but also the coping aspect of bullying. We also have peer helpers that we use as well, and it helps us cover the different components of bullying, whether how you address it as the victim, as the bystander, but also as the bully, the perpetrator, because we also need to address those concerns as well. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
great. I'm so happy to hear that that's coming back. And I do know with this council that it has been a priority for us for mental health, because I, along with, I think it's Councilor Quinn, Councilor Hoyt, Councilor Woods, we talked about the mental health services for people in general during the pandemic. So I think this is right along with the agenda of this council as well. So I want to say thank you so much for everything.
Okay, all right. Councilor, did you have a follow-up, and then we'll keep work? Did you have a follow-up?
If somebody else hadn't spoken, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate this. You know, when I first saw the item proposed by the mayor, and I have to give appreciation to the mayor for putting it on, I thought, well, I wonder if the school system really needs this, or if they have something else they need more. And since that time, it's interesting how the Lord provides. I have heard so much about mental health problems in schools, and it seems like prior to that I hadn't heard much of anything. But I know a lot of us are struggling. I'm struggling. I mean, people who live alone, who are separated from the rest of society by this pandemic, I think lots of people are experiencing issues that they never experienced before. So, you know, I used to be jealous of kids because they were still young, but I'm not jealous anymore. it just seems like they've got so many struggles and so much to overcome right now with the weirdness of all this. I mean, who would think that nearly 2 years later, we're still wearing masks and trying to stay away from each other? It's just, it's crazy, but it does make you, it makes you think a lot of strange thoughts that you never thought before, and I'm sure children are just wondering what's going on. So I just appreciate the fact that the mayor put this on in our budget, and then the fact that it is truly needed and that y'all have a plan, because that's the other thing that's encouraging, is that the four of you are here and you've got it all thought out. It may not work 100% like you think it does, but at least you've thought it all out. So I'm very encouraged, and thank you for being here today.
And I would say, Councilor Abbott, is that oftentimes, even before the pandemic, a lot of behaviors children displayed that were literally mental health behaviors, they were associated with different things. Teachers would assume, or principals would assume, that the behaviors were willful and not necessarily because of an underlying mental health issue. And I think that we're just a lot more aware of what the signs and symptoms of mental health are, because they've been there for a while. We just may have been labeling it as something else. And now we are knowledgeable enough. We understand what those signs and symptoms of depression, of anxiety, or some other underlying mental health issues are, so that we can quickly identify those and provide some support for those students.
Good, thank you.
Dr. Flynn?
Yes, thank you. So also want to echo my colleagues' comments, but one issue that I wanted to touch on is that I don't think there's any industry, business owner, whether it's government or private, that isn't being impacted by staffing shortages at the current time. And I wanted you to speak to that issue. I believe there was a job fair recently, and you guys have made some administrative changes to try and incentivize more people to join the workforce, specifically as it relates to Birmingham City Schools. So if you could, just tell us what you're doing on that front.
Well, that's a very good question. We actually had a huge tailgate at Parker High School to try to encourage or recruit individuals in our schools. And it's not just teachers. This is bus drivers, this is custodial staff, this is lunchroom workers. One of the things that we have done is we've incentivized our substitute teachers as well. We've increased the rate that we pay our substitute teachers. We are actually looking at contracting with an organization to look at our overall compensation plan. Additionally, we recognize that at the lowest end of our salary scale, our custodians, lunchroom workers, and bus drivers, we weren't doing enough to properly compensate them. And so the state of Alabama provided a 2% increase for those individuals, for all staff members. We, with the help of, with the support of our school board, added an additional 10%. Because, we had individuals who were making $7.25 an hour, and they were cleaning restrooms, working very hard, very dedicated, but many of those individuals weren't making a living wage. And so we felt like we could do more, in addition to using it as a recruiting tool, but it's just simply a justice. It shows that we respect the work that they do. We recognize that anybody who works for our school system need to be able to be paid a living wage, and so we are committed to that. We are doing more around the recruitment efforts, around our teachers, around our substitutes, around our bus drivers, because really, on a side note, one of the things last year that really affected the schools, whether they were open or not, was not really as much the teachers being in the building. It's the cafeteria staff. So you can't have a school if you can't serve meals every day. And if you have one or two cafeteria workers who test positive for COVID, and last year without a vaccination, you had to close the school down. So that really shows the importance of every member of the organization, whether it be the custodian, the superintendent, the principal, or the teacher. And in a lot of ways, our cafeteria workers, our custodians, our bus drivers, they really drive whether schools stay open or whether they close.
So where can folks go to find out about employment opportunities?
So if you go to BirminghamCitySchools.org and go to our HR page, you will have a whole litany of opportunities to work in Birmingham City Schools if you're interested. So, we are excited about the opportunities for individuals to work with us, because I think that, Birmingham City Schools is moving forward. Not only do we want to be the first choice in education for parents and students, but we also want to be the first choice for a employer that is the first choice for employees.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to thank you, Dr. Sullivan, and I'm so happy to see your staff here. I'm exceedingly proud today of the support that is being given to the Birmingham Board of Education for this particular item. As Councilor Smitherman said, and even when I was a student in the dark old ages, of course, children had so many different needs and issues that they were dealing with that are nothing like what we have now. And we did have the guidance counselor, who was often the one, or the homeroom teacher that provided, or even any other staff that might be the one to help the students out. So I'm glad to see this level of professionalism, specialized services that this money will be spent towards to improve and to allow this opportunity for our students. We've heard terms today: wraparound services, progressive, multi-tiered, and being able to address the needs of the specific students. So I am deeply grateful that you all are going to take this on and utilize these funds as they need to be used for our children. So thank you very much.
Council Woods, Council Hoyt, you can wrap this up.
Yes, thank you. And again, Dr. Sullivan and your colleagues, thank you for coming. But I am concerned, as I have, I guess, having worked in mental health with JBS Mental Health Authority, I did live in and with the MRs and the MIs, so I know a little bit about behaviors and what have you. But I'm concerned too. And I learned from Dr. Vickers that there is a correlation in the patient and who treats the patient, and so ethnicity does play a role in that, in terms of communicating. And so, but what I didn't see, and I may not know all the different entities, but you got TC Counseling that's in Ansley, and I don't know if all their counselors are African American, but I do know there's a good organization, and that you all will be maybe amenable to at least considering, because I know the services that they provide without going into detail. So, but I think it's important that we have the correlation there, and so. But I think this is wonderful, and really want to commend the mayor because mental health, nobody chooses mental health, okay? It chooses them. And so if we don't, give it the attention that it needs, then it escalates to other things, and that's not fair to the child. As you said, we got to deal with the whole child, and mental health is a part of that. And I know that we hadn't always paid attention to that, even as a society. That's not something that you openly talk about, But when I see these statistics about young girls taking their lives and all this, and, and they were just particularly, hounding in on females, then that's a concern, because I'm raising I've raised a daughter, and now I'm raising another daughter. So I just want to make sure that we're doing all we can. And so I really commend you all and the mayor's staff bringing this before us, because it's really needed. And like Councilor Smither and Councilor O'Quinn have said, Montez Fowles, who's been very open about his mental health, who's working on his PhD and all that. And I think I did some stuffed animals or something we did together some time ago to say we give the students to the city of Birmingham, and I thought that was a good project, and I participated in that. And so, and understand that I'm going to be recommending some discretionary money in addition to what you're doing today to help out with that effort. So just know that's coming as I come to the end. But I want to make sure that we do address those ills of our society. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Right. I think, Madam Clerk, I think we're ready to vote.
Okay, the vote has started. And there you go.
Okay, all right, that item passes. Okay, we can go on in 30, I think it's 36 and 38. We can just
37 and 38.
37. Okay.
Okay, item number 37 is on page 29. A resolution pursuant to section 11-40-1 at section 11-47-16 and section 11-47-19 Codes of Alabama 1975, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver an agreement with the Fowles Art Project in the amount not to exceed, and the amount has changed to $7,500 to provide the following goods or services to the city. Fowles Art Project shall provide free dance and music workshops to the citizens of Birmingham. Said funds to come from $5,000 will be coming from District 8 discretionary funds and $2,500 from District 7 discretionary funds.
Move on. Second.
Okay, the item is before us.
Yes, well, and I just wanted to make mention that Cat Fowles and the Fowles family and the Fowles Project has been a really added benefit to the city of Birmingham. As you all know, Cat went to Alabama's School of Fine Arts, graduated from there, and then graduated from Fordham University in New York, and has done some stuff on Broadway and all that good stuff. And she's a native daughter, and she and her brother both are very dedicated, and her parents are dedicated to providing this kind of exposure to our young folk. We can't always depend on Alabama Ballet to provide that for us. At least I hadn't seen a whole lot of it. And of course, they did come out to my part with a purpose because I insisted that they do over the years, but just glad to know that we have a quality program that we can continue to support. And I want to again commend Council Pro Tem Alexander for taking on the Fowles Project. It's just important that we expose our young people the earlier the better. And believe it or not, this is how you cope with some of this COVID, this mental health stuff. Just get out there and get to moving and what have you. Of course, I can't do one of them moves or whatever, but I can dance though. But CAT has been they've been very accountable and very responsive, and I just really want to say kudos to them and what they're doing and continue to do for our citizens. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I echo your sentiments as well, Councilor Hoyt. Ms. Fowles and her family, they presented a program in District 7 2 weeks ago. I think you all saw the video. And so it's just so encouraging to see the young girls that were out there taking benefit of some of the services and the arts that they were providing to the community. So it is a privilege for the District 7 office to join in the support of the Cat Fowles Project. And I believe Ms. Fowles is also talking with World Games event people to, we want to bring that talent as part of some of our events for the World Games. So I know she is making contact with that group. And so we want to see that type of art, our art, is part of that. So thank you very much.
That's good.
All right.
Well, I know Kat probably can't hear us, but we grew up together. I just want to say I'm so proud of her. Just to see her using her talent from going to New York to helping our kids. So Kat, I just want to say I'm really proud of you for all that you're doing. and I look forward to partnering with you and the rest of us in the future.
Okay. All right, we're ready, Madam Clerk.
Okay, the vote has started. Okay, it should be up on those.
Okay. All right. That item passes. Let's go to the next item. Is it
The
30?
next item is item number 38, also on page 29, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver an agreement with Synergy Consulting Group, LLC, and an amount not to exceed $47,000 to provide consulting services that will assist City of Birmingham Council District Number 9 constituents in community engagement efforts to promote and enhance growth and service within the City of Birmingham District 9. The fee for these services is inclusive of any reimbursable expenses. These services will begin September 14th, 2021 and conclude no later than June 30th, 2022. Said funds will come from District 9 discretionary funds.
Second.
Okay, the item is before us. Any discussion?
Mr. President?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I asked that this be taken off because yesterday at Budget and Finance, I asked if there was any problem with the person that we are using as the Port Authority Director to be hired for a second job within the city, and Mr. Mitchell said the law department was going to look at it further, so I just wanted to hear.
Currently, it has been reviewed by OCA, and Attorney King can speak to that.
So I'll have Attorney Lawson come in and speak to the matter.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Good morning. Yolanda Lawson from the Office of City Attorney. In review of the information that was provided to us and in review of the Independent Port Authority, Birmingham Jefferson Port Authority, they are an independent agency where the city may provide money to them in support of their organization. However, we are totally independent. The city does not control or manage any portions of the Port Authority. And with that, once the contributions are made to the Port Authority, those funds are no longer considered city funds. So if we contract individually or as two separate organizations with the same person, it's legally allowed.
Okay, well, that was all I wanted to know. I don't ever want to vote for something that's questionable, and we didn't have a precise answer yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, let me,
Yes, sir.
yeah, so who created the Port Authority? My mind is vague.
The state of Alabama.
Oh, state of,
It's
oh, yeah, well,
legislatively.
then that answered that question.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
this is you know, capitalistic society.
All right. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you, Attorney Lawson. All right, we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk.
The vote is started.
And then Russell's a fine young man.
I just don't know how you can do two jobs at the same time.
Okay. All right, that item passes. Can we go to our addendum items, Madam Clerk? 63 and 64. You can call them up and vote.
Yes, sir. Item number 63 on the addendum is an ordinance to further amend the sporting and entertainment recruitment fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022 by appropriating $100,000 to University of Alabama at Birmingham Board of Trustees, the funding source being lodging tax revenue.
Okay. You gonna call it both of them or you want?
Oh, I can.
Where is the addendum? Because I don't see it.
We don't have a copy.
They
I
were
emailed it
emailed
to
on
you
yesterday, and it's,
I need to see the printed copy.
okay. All right, well, why don't you go ahead and read the other one while we're getting
Okay.
copies and we can talk through them. It's on your pad, on your tablet. Councilwoman.
Okay, the other item is item number 64. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a purchase order wherein the city shall purchase from the University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB, 1,000 football tickets per UAB home game during the 2021 college football season at a cost of $100,000 to be used by city employees, youth groups, and neighborhood associations. The city shall distribute these tickets in accordance with applicable laws, including but not limited to the Alabama Ethics Law, Code of Alabama 1975, Section 36-25-1, and the purchase of such tickets is in the best interest of the city and will serve a public purpose and further enhance the public benefit and welfare by, among other things, promoting local economic development, stimulating and diversifying the local economy, promoting and increasing the city's tourist economy, and the generation of additional revenue and jobs.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion for us to bring both of them?
Move the item.
Second.
Okay. The items are before us.
Mr. President, this doesn't require unanimous consent to bring it forward since it's an addendum?
No, ma'am.
Addendums don't require unanimous consent.
It's not an item of permanent operation, so.
Oh, this is just for 1 year. Okay, thank you.
For now.
Okay. Was that your?
Yeah.
Okay. Councilor Hoyt.
Yeah, well, I think summarily this council has supported UAB. And matter of fact, we've made a tremendous sacrifice of $3 million a year. And I'm just wondering why we're becoming the welfare place, because, and I'm concerned that from an economic development standpoint, we don't have any real black vendors, minority vendors over there with this, other than Mama something, the Mama restaurant, and I'm, there needs to be some conversation, and I'm all for UAB, but nobody's helped Miles, and Miles is here. They impact this community as well, even though they may be in another city. But it just seems to me that we're already paying for these tickets with the $3 million, and then I didn't see anything that said that the council would be included in the distribution of these tickets. So, and constituents call on us to provide these things as we do with other events that we have, and I'm just not inclined at this point. We already buy 250. What is it? What's that contract? $500,000 already?
No, that expired. That one expired.
And so now we're increasing it.
No. I mean, that contract was, I think that expired probably 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. That was, I think, the last season that they were at Legion Field. I think that one sunsetted. That was a 5-year. I think 200 or 250,000.
I think the city is already on the hook for $3 million for the next 30 years. I don't know how more committed we need to be. And there are other entities, corporations within the state, within the city of Birmingham who could possibly help out with some of this. And I just don't believe that we continue to milk the cow. And, but, I know y'all probably got the votes and what have you, but I'm going to stand by conviction, and I'm going to speak truth to power. Y'all need to ask, as I've asked, and I haven't got that list yet, Mr. President, about the vendors with respect to the stadium. And we're not talking about apples to oranges. I want to see some apples to apples. And, we're doing our citizens a disservice, and particularly minority contractors, a disservice when we allow them and the Civic Center to contract with folks who do not look like us. And I'm not talking about a $15,000 contract. There are a plethora of $1 million contracts that have been let out by the BJCC with respect to those persons working there. And I got a problem with that. And we all should have a problem with that as we serve in this city because the economic parity is just not there. It's not there. And we put it in our language. We had a big discussion about it, even though I think it was some of the information was filtered as it came back to here. You know, we always canceled the meeting. We did this, we did that. And so we really hadn't had no real discussion about their responsibility to bring on minority vendors. And even with the building of the stadium, you know, I mean, I'm you know, at some point you get tired. And we should all be tired. It's just not, it's not right. I mean, you know, I know Chaz went to UAB and everything, and I like Chaz, but, you know, but my wife finished there too. Got a nursing degree from there, so, but I'm just saying, this is, as they say in the streets, pimping ain't easy. And I'm telling you, this is pimping to the highest level, particularly when we're given $3 million and we're on the hook for the next 30 years. You know, they ought to give us 100 tickets or whatever they're doing, 1,000 tickets. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Anyone else want to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I do want to speak. And Councilor Hoyt and I are on the same note here. It does happen every once in a while. We have committed the city of Birmingham to 30 years worth of payments to build a stadium for UAB to play football. I believe that's sufficient. I love UAB, except when their students make a lot of noise in my neighborhood at night. I love UAB. They are our biggest employer. I'm sure they're going to be very successful in their football season, but they need to go visit somebody else asking for money instead of coming to the city. The taxpayers are the ones who are footing this bill. It's not you and me. It's not the mayor. It's the taxpayers of Birmingham. They're the ones who keep telling us during our campaigns that they want their streets paved and their sidewalks fixed and their sewers cleaned out and the traffic controlled and the police to come when they call and actually do something. You know, the citizens want us to stick to our responsibilities. And entertaining ourselves is not one of our responsibilities. It never has been, although we have treated it as if it is one of our responsibilities. Entertaining ourselves and entertaining our citizens is not our primary responsibility. We should be providing our services to our citizens first, and if we're incapable of providing those services, then we should not be spending money on other things until we do our jobs. So that's my opinion. And like I said, I love UAB and their football games are lots of fun, but that's not our primary business. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. I just want to offer a few comments. So, as everyone I'm sure recalls, you know, I questioned the value of investing in a downtown stadium, but now that we have it, you know, I think that it is what it is, and we have to utilize it for the purpose that it was intended. And, you know, as with many things, you have to look deeper, and in this case, you have to understand that sports is a business, and in this case, there are a lot of economic development opportunities that are very much attached to butts being in seats in that stadium. And so filling those seats is a means to an end, which is growing the economy of the city of Birmingham. And I just wanted to interject that, you can't just take a cursory view of this, that, sports is just like any other business, and there's a lot of complexities, and this, from my point of view, is not about entertainment as much as it is about economic development. Thank you.
Okay. Any other? Councilor Smith, since she has not spoken.
I think if this does pass, I do want to make sure these tickets go out into the community, because it is the residents, they're the ones who are paying for the stadium. So I just want to make sure we get this out to the community, because I know a lot of people are struggling to get these tickets, for example. And I think this is a good opportunity to make sure that people who may not be able to afford or have access to these tickets to get these tickets. So to make sure to do that. I wasn't here when you guys voted on the stadium, but it is here. We do have to support it, or else all of that money will be going to waste. That's my only thing about it. I do think we do help UAB a lot, but this is coming from the surcharge fee. So that's a different bucket of money that we're taking this from. So I do want the public to know this comes from the surcharge fee and not some other bucket of money.
Okay. All right, I'm going to ask President Pro Tem, since she has not spoken, and then we'll come back to Councilor Abbott and Councilor Hoyt, if that's okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to also remind and just be sure that we are understanding of where these funds are being requested from. And that was one of the reasons that we put in the surcharge, the hotel surcharge, was to help the revenue generation when it comes to entertainment and people visiting our city and being a part of using it as an economic driver. So this is an opportunity to, again, support the economic impact or the revenue that will be generated from people as they visit. And also, we do have, as part of the resolution, we were saying the 1,000 tickets would be allocated to, I believe it's specific for youth groups, residents, and so it's laid out as to where we should, how we should disperse these tickets and use these tickets. And I would like to see it, the item passes, that again, we do ensure that it's our residents who get the opportunity to benefit from the use of these tickets, and we can fill those seats.
Okay. Councilor Abbott, Councilor Hoyt, you all have more comments?
Yeah, thank you. Councilor Hoyt, do you want to go first?
Yeah, well, thank you. You're so wonderful to acquiesce to this old.
Well, we are in agreement for a change, so we better sing Kumbaya.
Yeah, well, and I don't want the public to be oblivious to our commitment to UAB. I mean, we talking about $3 million, $90 million that we've committed for the next, over the period of 30 years. So, we committed. I mean, this council is committed. But the reason that we voted to create this this line item was really to help us in our districts, not necessarily entertainment. From that standpoint, if we were not recruiting new entertainment to the city. So I just want to say that, and Dr. Quinn mentioned my conservative counselor, mentioned economic opportunity. Well, who the economic opportunities for? It's not for black folk. Because I'm telling you, get a list of the vendors and see if in fact black folk are included in that. And, you know, and one restaurant certainly is not inclusive, you know, when you do a comparison. And I just believe, you know, we've done a lot, and not only for UAB, but, you know, we have vacated streets. And listen, and UAB don't have a clinic. Do you hear me? They don't have a clinic in Black Birmingham nowhere in the black community. Zero. They do their case studies, they do all that stuff, and have not left a clinic or nothing in the community. I would like to see this council push to have a clinic in the neighborhood. UAB has not done that. And this ain't nothing new. Y'all know that. I'm always on this issue. If University of Arkansas can put a clinic in a mostly African-American community, then why can't UAB, that has a over $7.8 billion economic impact? And then y'all forget about the UAB has a health foundation that's worth over probably $2 billion. And all that money is not restricted. That's why I think, and matter of fact, those are my early comments, that they should have built it. So we can't get the state to build stadiums, but you can get your foundation that you know, collect all this money. And that's a lot, y'all. That's a lot. I just can't, you know, I know I'm leaving, but I'm going to be leaving screaming and hollering because I want us to do right. I really do. And it's not right. I'm just tell you, and y'all go and vote for it and all that, but them 1,000 tickets ain't gonna help us change Ansley. It's not gonna help us to do none of that, because UAB have already made a decision. They're not coming to the black community. They're not. And then they've had 2 clinics within an eighth of a mile, if not even an eighth of a mile, and had to close one because, you know, it didn't attract the folk they wanted to do that. You should have put it over there where it's needed. And I stand by that, you know, and I got relatives over there who work over there. My wife retired from there and got a good retirement, thank the Lord, praise the Lord. But I'm just saying, enough is enough. And I'm not voting for no 1,000 tickets, because it ain't gonna help us. It ain't gonna change Ansley. It ain't gonna change North Birmingham, and it certainly is not gonna change the narrative for black businesses in Birmingham, because they have decided that they're not gonna give us what we deserve, and I'm not. And I thank Councilor Abbott for acquiescing to me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. You want to wrap this up?
Yes, and there is an error on this item. It says that it was submitted by the mayor and the Budget and Finance Committee, and this item skipped the committee process and didn't go to any committee. It just went via phone calls from the mayor, so that needs to be removed so that in the future there is no confusion.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Let me see this. I do think we need to have the UAB football team do more community service in the neighborhood.
They don't do none in the black community.
Because I'm just going to use my district because UAB is a part of it. I haven't really seen them do community service, and we're just right down the street. So I'm just hoping that they do more community service in our districts. Also, that they hire more black staff as well. They do not hire black staff. UAB is doing certain things in neighborhoods, but that's a different part of UAB. That's a Live Health Smart Challenge. But I do, hopefully, we can partner with them to put those clinics in our neighborhoods, Councilor Hoyt, because they can do more. We do give them a lot of money. But my only thing about the tickets is just I want our people to make sure they have access to a game for the stadium they're going to pay for 30 years. That's my only view about it, because I don't know about you all, I do know a lot of people who would love to go to these games, but they can't afford it, or they don't have access to it. So that's my angle about these tickets. It's just making sure our neighborhood people can come to these games.
will look at the football staff, and they'll let you know that there's something amiss.
All right. Anything else, I think, Madam Clerk? We're ready.
Okay, the vote has started.
Okay. All right. Those items, both of them pass. Next item.
Okay, the next item, we are going to go back to the page 2, item 1. A public show cause hearing to consider the matter of revoking the business licenses issued to Club Euphoria, Euphoria Sports Bar and Hookah Lounge, 715 Street West, Birmingham, 35208, and to consider rescinding resolution number 2399-18, granting approval for a lounge retail liquor class 1 license approved on November 13th, 2018, and I believe
Yeah, we're going to make a motion we're going to make a motion to delay it, but we need to bring it up. So let's move the item.
Second.
Okay. All right. The item is before us. I'll ask for a 2-week delay on this item.
Okay. That was Councilor Woods. Okay, the vote has started. Councilor Abbott.
Okay. All right. That item has a 2-week delay on item 1. Next item, please.
Okay, the next item is item number 31. It's on page 27. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a facilities use agreement for a term not to exceed 3 months beginning April 1st, 2022, between the Personnel Board of Jefferson County and the City of Birmingham for the city's use of the board provided facility rooms at no cost to the city for the purpose of providing a polygraph examiner's course to enrolled participants, including law enforcement officers from the city and other departments. This is an item of permanent operation, so we're going to need unanimous consent to take it up today.
I move for unanimous consent.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I move the item.
Second.
Okay. Hold on 1 second, if you would. Councilor Abbott. Okay. The vote has started. Councilor Hoyt.
Okay.
All right.
All right, great. That item passes. Next item, Madam Clerk, please.
The next item is item number 49. Do we add that to the consent agenda? No. Item 49 is on page 32. I'm sorry. A resolution adopting the Personnel Board of Jefferson County 2020 to 2021 Annual Classification and Compensation Survey effective September 28, 2021.
I move approval.
Second.
Yes, sir. Dr. Quinn.
Can member of the administration kind of speak to this? I'll just preface that by saying, as I mentioned earlier to Dr. Sullivan, I don't think there's any employer right now who's not struggling to find people who want to work. And actually spoke with Chief Moon in the hallway this morning, specifically about paramedics. And Chief Moon mentioned to me that the city of Birmingham has been also impacted by that, and regionally, I can say that paramedic response times have increased just because of shortages in staff. I'm seeing it in the private sector, in a number of different businesses, most recently with private waste collection haulers. So in that context, I know Jefferson County Personnel Board, controls our destiny in a lot of ways with respect to our ability to compensate our employees, at least our civil servant employees. So I want to be thoughtful in this item and just sort of, take it in context that I think the city of Birmingham needs to be competitive, in the marketplace and offer competitive wages. So are we, the bottom line question is are we accomplishing that through this item?
So it's a twofold answer, Counselor. It's a twofold answer, Counselor. I'll let Mr. Mitchell speak to the item, and then I'll follow up on a little bit more global context around the issue, because it's really two separate things. Deputy Chief.
Yeah. So, Counselor, the actual item that's before the council is done every year in conjunction with the Personnel Board, where they survey every job classification within the city of current employees, just to make sure that they're working within their classification. The result of this survey yielded that one person that works in public works was needed to be promoted because they were working out of class. So that's the item that's before you.
So now to your follow-up, Councilor O'Quinn, it's a little bit more robust in terms of what we need to do with the Personnel Board, our competition in terms of competitive wages with surrounding municipalities that are, per your discussion with Chief Moon, really aggressively going after our medics and medics that are available. So we have a recruitment and retention plan that we're putting together that the council will obviously be hearing more on in the next few days. That coordination between your schedules is actually happening as we speak, so you can get a little bit more context from our HR department and our fire department on what we're doing as a city to really be more competitive and push back against some of the surrounding municipalities and the national shortage that's occurring. So you'll be hearing that, so it's really two separate things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, and I guess, Chief, to get further clarity, what are we doing to really safeguard ourselves? Because it looks like we spend an enormous amount of money on training these persons, and then they go to these other municipalities and work, and there's no commitment. I like to see a contract, that they're going to work here after they was at least 5 years, or 6 years, or 7 years, because what these other folks are doing is that they send their folk over here to work and get trained, and then they go back to these other communities, with this fine education that we done paid for. That ain't right.
Very fair question, Counselor. So two things on that front. We agree with you. The enforceability of a contract, because they're hired through the Personnel Board, makes that a challenge, but that's something that we're looking to put in place. Because once they go through our system, they do have the ability to go to the other municipalities that fall up under the Personnel Board. That's the challenge. But what we are looking to put in place with our recruitment and retention plan is a penalty if they're trained through our department and they leave within a window of time. You'll be getting that update, but it does require some enforceability that right now it will really take us being aggressive and creative on that. But that's exactly what we're doing. That's why your question is fair. We want to hold them accountable. If we train them here, we want to be able to get the benefit of them staying here. but the system that they are hired through really does make that a challenge that we're looking to prevent.
All right. Any other questions, comments? We're ready. Madam Clerk, we're ready.
The vote has started. Councilor Hoyt.
Okay. All right, that item passes. Next item, please.
The next item is item number 61. It's on page 35. A resolution setting a public hearing October 26, 2021 to consider the adoption of an ordinance to amend the zoning district map of the city of Birmingham, case number ZAC 2021-00013, to change zone district boundaries from D3 single family district to QI1 qualified light industrial district, light manufacturing district, filed by Alton B. Parker Jr., representing the owner, Pro Drive LLC, for the properties located at 113 and 117 41st Avenue North, 100 40th Court West, and 125 and 129 41st Avenue West. All properties are situated in the northeast quarter of Section 15, Township 17 South, Range 3 West, Birmingham.
I move approval.
Second.
All right. We're ready. Vote.
Okay. The vote has started. Councilor O'Quinn. Oh, did he leave out? Okay. Last week. All right.
All right, okay. That item passes. Is that all, Madam Clerk?
We have item number 62 on page 36. It does not have to be voted on. Receiving the notice from the Office of the City Attorney pursuant to the provisions of Section 2-3-27D of the General Code of the City of Birmingham as amended regarding the final judgment rendered in favor of the plaintiff in Interactive Video Technologies, LLC versus City of Birmingham in the Circuit Court of Jefferson County, Alabama, CV-2019-904587 in the amount of $89,012.14. It is the intent of the Office of the City Attorney to satisfy said judgment in full with funds to come from account number 001-028-01600-534-013. And there's no vote needed or anything.
Okay. All right.
And that completes the agenda.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to move, suspend rules to hear from our speakers.
Mr. President, can we also hear from our new...
We're going to do all that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so I just wanted to make sure there, I know we have the executive director from Create Birmingham, I think.
Excuse me. Did you get a second on your motion to suspend? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
So I know we have Ms. Johnson as well from Wahoma. So 2 presentations. Was there another one besides those 2? Okay. Ms. Abbott, you want to introduce your first, and then we'll go to Ms. Johnson. You'll be second.
Okay, well, Megan Bridgman, the executive director of Create Birmingham, we just wanted to actually get to meet her and hear her voice and see what she's planning for Create Birmingham. And
hello. Hi, I'm Megan Bridgman. It's so nice to meet you all. Very sorry I wasn't here last week. I was in Chattanooga working on a curriculum for co-starters, but also part of Film Birmingham, and I'm a native Alabamian. I'm from Huntsville. I spent some time here in Birmingham at the Alabama School of Fine Arts and then Alabama Ballet. My first career was ballet. And then I've been away for 20 years and just moved here from Dallas back home. And I'm so excited to be part of the community and be here and work in partnership with you all. and thrilled to meet you all and hope to get you to know all of you better.
Well, can you tell us what the prospects are for films and videos being made in Birmingham during the pandemic?
Sure. Admittedly, 2020 definitely there was a dip. I have numbers for you. Right now, in 2021, we've assisted with 41 projects, and I started July 15th, and I would say since my time, there's been a steady uptick in film projects. I would say 20% each week. And then I had a chance to go meet with the Alabama State Film Office in Montgomery, and they've also seen a significant uptick. So we have 4 feature film projects in the works, and 2 are filming, and I believe 1 is filming just in a few weeks here, a Bruce Willis film. So I think there's definitely interest, and from what I understand, the Georgia market is fairly saturated, so we have some opportunity in Birmingham to really be a leader and a really viable place to come and film.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, it's good to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you all too.
And thank you for being here.
Yeah,
we'll miss Buddy, but we'll get to know you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Any other questions?
That's all. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am. There's one other presentation. I think that's it. Ms. Johnson.
Good morning to our city leaders. My name is Pat Johnson, and I live in Eastlake. I am a very concerned, passionate.
Mic down.
I am a very concerned, passionate citizen of Birmingham. I do represent the majority of the people who make up Birmingham: elderly, poor, and black. That's who make up Birmingham as a whole. I am quite disturbed by the lack of work from the Public Works Department. In Eastlake and Wahoma, our rubbish has not been picked up in 2 months. Mattresses, couch, and the like. Our garbage men do a wonderful job. They don't throw the cans everywhere, they set them down. I know because I pick up garbage every day myself, and I do monitor my neighborhood. But those rubbish people, I don't know what the problem is. On paper, they were supposed to visit us 2 times this month. The first week in September, and then the 23rd of this month. We have not had 1 couch, mattress, junk, construction stuff picked up in our neighborhood in 2 months. I have called your so-called 311. I have called Public Works. I have called Eastern Landfill, which is down the street from my house. I have talked to so many people, and yet they claim they aren't aware that the rubbish have not been picked up, when all they have to do is go through the neighborhood. They say they pick it up, and we mess it up. But by me being a cleanup person myself, I know for a fact that it hadn't been picked up, so they can't say we're messing up something that hadn't been picked up. Secondly, that thing that you all did to Eastlake, Del Pardo Madrid Boulevard, from Gate City down to First Avenue North, it's a travesty. We only have 1 lane. The turning lanes are bigger than the lanes you drive the cars on. Then we have 2 bicycle lanes, and I think it's been painted for at least 2 or 3 months. I haven't seen a bicycle on it yet. They said they did it for safety reasons, but it's very inconvenient, especially when you have some place to be, and the person that's leading the line on this 1 lane boulevard is doing 20 miles an hour. and you got to be at Eastwood to meet somebody for lunch or something, they doing 20 miles an hour. You all need to revisit that proposal. The turning lanes are bigger than the drive lanes. And I think it's unfair to the citizens that we were not informed that you all were going to do this travesty in our neighborhood. You could have added more traffic lights. There's so many things you could have done than to make it impossible for us to get somewhere in a timely manner. Another thing I'm concerned about is the fact that you all don't have the city council meetings on cable anymore. People saying go to Facebook. Again, I say I represent the elderly, the poor, and the young in this community. Most of the elderly don't use Facebook. We're the voters. More elderly people vote than young people. And yet we can't tune in our TV and see what our city's doing without calling our grandchildren to hook us up to Facebook. You all, again, did not consider the citizens in this judgment call that you made. I realize that you all want to be young and progressive and do things according to the other parts of the country, but you still have the black, the elderly, poor, and undereducated that makes up this city. And I don't know why you all don't want to take us in consideration when you make decisions about what's going on in the city of Birmingham. We live here. You probably don't see us from day to day, but we are here. Another, back to this garbage. It's so many excuses. We can't always accept excuses. And if you all don't have people to do it, then somebody need to take off a suit and put on some overalls and get this trash picked up. People getting a check for not doing anything, and most of your citizens are struggling for day-to-day essentials. You all are not looking out for the people who make up Birmingham, the elderly, the poor, and the young people. And this thing about this mental health going on in Birmingham Public Schools, I hope you all put somebody on it to monitor it, to see how many children are helped, see how many families made a difference this time next year, because I personally don't believe it's going to happen. So if you all going to give them $1 million for this project, please make it work for the sake, again, for the elderly, poor, and the youngsters. You are always giving money for something to give your friends a job, and we remain in the same predicament. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Any questions?
Yes,
Any
I do.
promises? Any excuses why you can't do it?
Wait.
All right, then.
Hold on, Ms. Johnson. Council Hoyt.
Yes, Ms. Johnson, I have always appreciated how you have come down and put us in check. But it's interesting that last week, while I was at the new stadium, that I sat with the gentleman from Spectrum, and he said to me that all we need to do is a tie into this new system that they brought to City Hall, and we just need to connect. I'm saying this for our chair of utilities, that we need to go ahead and make that happen, because it's not fair, and the purpose of this channel was created to provide some public understanding of what we were doing and to have access to us, and it needs to become a priority of this council, and I may not get a chance to see it happen in my little span here and now, but I'm just hopeful, because I got folk who want to see the city council, want to know what's going on in their city. And like you said, everybody's not hooked up to the Facebook. A lot of folks are scared of Facebook, and so I was scared of it. Got to preach every Sunday from Facebook. I was concerned people would be a little bit more critical and everything, but and it turned out that I wouldn't do anything other than Facebook, but that's those are the drawbacks, and so we really want to make sure that our citizens, and I think every major city in this country have public access to their council meeting. And we want to do the same thing. We've always had that. I think we go back and do whatever we need to do, Madam Chairperson, to make that happen.
Yes, Mr. Hoyt, I was going to address and just give an update. We did sign the franchise agreement with Spectrum, and part of that agreement is to upgrade the fiber connection between the City Hall, and so that that can be transmitted. I know that we bought equipment, and administration helped to put that monies in place, and so we will work diligently to get that. Like everyone else, I had to, Facebook is something new to all of us. Something when you can give it to your grandchild and they can just hook you right up. So I've had to rely on them. So I do understand the need, and I know when I think of my mother, that was her big thing on Tuesdays, was to watch city council meeting, and so I know it's very important to everybody. So we will be sure to get that upgrade and get that work done as quick.
I thank you both very much, but don't forget the poor, the elderly, and the young people who really make up this city. Even though we're growing in Lofts and in Avondale and different areas, but L&N City, Cottageville, Sippy Bice Hill, Riggins, they remain the same as they were in 1965. They have not improved. L&N City, Cottageville, Bice Hill, Riggins, they still the same. And you are constantly spending money everywhere else, and those are the people who really voted for you time after time after time. Cottageville, North Birmingham, L&N City, Smithfield, some parts of Titusville, and we don't get nothing for our vote and nothing for being citizens of Birmingham, but neglected and overlooked. Have a good one.
All right. We are now, who wants to start off with announcements? Anybody?
If you be so kind, you
Yes,
rarely
sir.
start on this end. But I do want to thank Council Pro Tem Alexander, because she did that for me, so I appreciate that. But Parker, I'm gonna mess with you until I leave. So anyway,
It's all in love. It's all in love. You make us better every day. We have to bring our A game every day.
Listen, y'all have taught me in these 16 years.
No, sir.
We know you're getting towards the end. We're beginning to feel for you.
Listen, we're going to be fine. But again, I want to thank the President for these COVID updates. When we start losing folks 26 in their 20s, and there was a young lady that went to school with Maya at Ramsey and even at Princeton, who lost her life to COVID. And she said to her father, I'm told, tell folks that I was young and I was healthy, and I'm losing my life. And she did succumb to COVID. And so it's just important that we continue to do education and to continue to make people abreast of these issues. And so the Council President has done that continuously. And I just really appreciate that with Dr. Harris and all the other folks Dr. Hicks and others who have come through. And I think last night I saw Councilor John Hilliard. Didn't get a chance to hear him, but I know he was on that little
Yeah, he was
thing.
kind of giving us an update on his process. He has COVID, but he was giving us an update of how he's coming. So we expect him to come back.
Okay.
Full.
But just wanted to say that, and there is a Zoom meeting tonight with Bush Hills Neighborhood Association via Zoom. That meeting number is 846-888-898429, and the passcode is 926368. And that number again, the meeting number is 846-888-898429. 8429, and the passcode is 926368. That's all of my announcements, and you all have a great day.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Smith?
Thank you, President Parker. I had a good time with President Pro Tem Alexander out at Legion Field for Brenda's Brown Bosom Buddies Sister Strut 5K run. We had a lot of attendees. I'm thinking at the minimum 100 to 200 attendees at the event. It was a great turnout. We did line dances to warm up. We took pictures. Oh, it was a lot of fun. And then it was their 10-year anniversary, and Councilor Alexander and I present a resolution as well. So I want to give a shout out to Brenda for all that she does for Black women and breast cancer awareness. Railroad Park is having their annual picnic Sunday, October 10th from 11 to 5 p.m. They'll have food vendors, music, lawn games, and more. You can bring your own picnic or purchase lunch on the food truck row. So hopefully I'll see everybody then. And lastly, District 6 will be having their Safe Summer series that same day at 5 p.m. at Memorial Park. The artists will include Halo, Sherry Brown, and the headliner will be Kiki Wyatt. We encourage everyone to bring their lawn chairs and tents, and food trucks will be on site. Thank you, President Parker.
Yes, ma'am. Councilor Abbott.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next Budget and Finance meeting will be held on October the 11th. October. Man, time is flying. It will be held October 11th at 3:30 p.m. Submissions are due by October 6th at noon, which is not tomorrow. It's next Wednesday. No exceptions, so I ask that everyone get their information in and get it in correct and where it is readable. Thank you for your cooperation. The next neighborhood meeting is 6:30 p.m. on this coming Monday, and that is Glen Iris Neighborhood Association. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Last Friday, Councilor Woods and I got to go out and check out a new Black-owned business that opened in downtown, and if PIO would, they can roll the video. They've got like a really massive inventory there already, and we're talking like top end stuff. So it's something really, new and different and exciting for the downtown area.
When I got here this morning, the crowd was all the way down the street, even around the corner.
Over the years, we got all type of races, sexes, ages, and all that.
We're here downtown for the grand opening of Memory Lane, new shop in downtown Birmingham on 1st Avenue North and 2300 block. Let Councilor Woods explain a little bit more about what Memory Lane does.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. We welcoming Chris Smoot from Memory Lane right here downtown Birmingham, man. Incredible selection of footwear right here. So stuff you can't find anywhere in the city. Just about they got it right here, man. So we're excited to welcome Chris to Birmingham.
Memory Lane is open now on 1st Avenue North in downtown Birmingham, selling limited and exclusive releases. They are open 6 days a week. Stop by and support a local small business. And for more updates from the Birmingham City Council, follow along with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Stay safe, Birmingham.
About them opening their now third location. And these are, young guys too, so extraordinarily successful. I would say you want to bring your American Express or something like that that's got the, high credit limit on it, because their stuff ain't, you can get a deal in there, but you're not going to walk out of there without spending a couple of $100 at a minimum with a pair of sneakers. So anyway, very glad to have them. Council Woods, you want to offer some comments?
Yeah, are you gonna be able to jump high?
I appreciate you letting me come down to District 5, man. We had
oh boy.
we had to rush off for a meeting, and we were gonna get Councilor Quinn to try those new Jordans on, so we had to get out of there.
Yeah. So we're super happy to have, yet another black-owned business, in particular in downtown Birmingham. But, one that's also that a lot of folks are obviously very excited about. They do have a unique business model. So if you've got a pair of high-end sneakers that, you're trying to offload, they can help you out with that. And yeah, I need a little help on my vertical. So maybe Air Jordans would do the trick, but I kind of doubt it. But
So what's the address again?
it is in the 2300 block of First Avenue North.
It's right next to the pawn shop.
Yeah, right next to the pawn shop.
Yeah. First and 24th North.
Okay, good.
That game.
Tonight, the Fountain Heights neighborhood will be having a meeting via conference call. Please call Community Development or my office to get that information, and that concludes my announcements.
Okay. Council Wiz, you have anything else?
Yeah, just one announcement real quick. Saturday, we're partnering with Never Go Broke, an organization set up by Tay Lee, who focuses on financial literacy among young people. We're going to be at Huffman High School doing a program called GROW, basically focusing on goals, reality, outcome, and wealth. We'll have about 50 students going through a real-world reenactment, so think Game of Life on steroids. And so got a lot of vendors and people coming out to kind of help facilitate that. So really want to make sure that, as many of our young people understand money and how to make it work for you. And so we'll be putting that on this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Students can register at thegrowproject.money. And so we'll be looking at how to choose occupation, pay taxes, open bank accounts, buy cars, buy houses, and make general financial decisions. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a few announcements from District 7. Just wanted to remind our residents that they do have a bulk trash pickup today in the Jones Valley, Raleigh, Hillman Park, and West Brownsville. And tomorrow, they'll be in Garden Highlands, Powderly, and Roosevelt City. And if you missed that pickup, please dial 311. On Friday, October 2nd, the Jones Valley neighborhood will have their monthly meeting. This is at 4 p.m. It will be by conference call, so that number is 602-580-9496, and the access is 184-1005. And you can call the office if you need to get that information, but that's Jones Valley Neighborhood Association meets Friday on October 2nd. Starting this month, every first Thursday, the District 7 office will be presenting a virtual teletown hall. It's similar to what my other counselors are doing every month, and we will be bringing various speakers to provide updates and educate the community around the 3 C's focus that we have in District 7, which includes cleanliness, community revitalization, and rapid response to COVID-19. So be on the lookout for first Thursday in D7, and we'll provide more information about how you'll be able to dial in. That will be a virtual teletown hall, and we'll post that information for you on our social media sites. I do want to welcome, on a personal note, we welcomed some members of our sisterhood on this weekend, and some of those are members, family members here of our council. So Councilor Hoyt and Mr. McDaniels, we're very excited to have those 2 members of our sisterhood. So thank you, and we welcome them. Thank you very much. That's it from me. Thank you.
Councilor Hort, you need to say anything to close out so you'll be able to go home, or you won't get a text
I
from...
know it. Thank you. I
let
almost
you close
forgot.
it out, huh? I can't let you get in trouble now.
I should have looked at my pocket, and that would have reminded me.
Because you would get in so enough trouble.
But yeah, I am happy to say that Maya is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the oldest Black Greek letter organization of women. And so we really appreciate them inviting her to come apart. And I want to thank Ms. Sherry Lewis, who stayed on Maya and said, listen, this is the time. And so I'm glad, because Maya has wanted to be an AKA since she was about 7 or 8 years old. So for her to do that and just fulfilling her dreams. And so just very, very happy. And Mrs. McDaniel, so it's a Kappa and an AKA in the house. And so now Maya becomes the sister to my fraternity. And so she's my daughter and my sister. And so we're just very proud of that. And I've been looking for some pink and green in my house. So I'm going to have some now, I believe. Yeah, so that's really wonderful. And thank you, Council, for remembering that. Yeah, you helped me out. You helped me out.
We're excited to have them. Thank you. I actually met Maya. It was a National Panhellenic. She was a recipient of a scholarship when she was a senior. So that's the first time I met Maya. And Lord, look at her now. Okay. Attorney and now member of this esteemed sisterhood. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All righty. With that, I think we're ending on a great note. So, Councilor O'Quinn, you got a motion for us to make?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay. Thank you all.